All right, hello. New York AM session on Monday after holiday on Friday. There we go. And yeah, quick recap of what transposed since the London Open session, Silver Bullet. And basically, price developed beautifully what I was expecting during the London Open session. But during the London Open session per se, there was no setup given or offered at all. So yeah, price delivered what I was expecting, but not during the time that I was meant to be in front of the charts. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess, or I suppose, and we'll deal or try to deal with that instead. In terms of the opening range gap, looks like there is non-existing pretty much. Since yeah, so far there is no gap on MES. Let me check the NQ and what it did. Ever since it went above this 15-minute bearish fair value gap, and it turned into bullish inversion fair value gap instead. Very reasonable. And I believe it has this all-time high here in close proximity, and that's probably the likely draw on liquidity for Nasdaq as it is right now. So yeah, that's the exact level, 30,975.5 all-time high buy side liquidity on Nasdaq. Continuous contract already traded into this 15-minute bullish inversion fair value gap and rejected pretty nicely out of it so far. So yeah, right away I would think that the buy side liquidity there is or would be the go-to expectation. There is a little bit of an opening range gap on the Nasdaq, so let's add it for completeness sake here. Yeah, holiday trading was deducted from this data basically, and we just used the from Friday, and we just used the Thursday close in here, looks like, which is fine. I don't mind. So far 2 times traded into the consecutive encroachment of that opening range gap, and we are hanging around at 951, and this is potentially the buy side liquidity that we might want to strike. So yeah, we'll see because yeah, still 8 minutes roughly until the 10 a.m. whether this is even in play at all after the 10 a.m. because we could potentially strike it ahead of time, which, if that's the case, will take my attention to those relatively lows right here. So yeah, this is definitely somewhat engineering sell side liquidity below those lows. 933 and 943, very nice relatively lows with high probability low resistance liquidity run signature linked to it, so I like to see that. And yeah, so Nasdaq looks a little bit stronger here and a little bit more obvious that it wants to reach the all-time high versus the ES, which still could go higher, but it yeah, I mean there are also some issues in my area with some storms going on, and that can cause some issues with the connection and overall electricity. We'll see. Hopefully it will be fine. But yeah, it's summer classic here in Poland. Alrighty. We are engineering some buy-side liquidity short term. Quite a bit of sell side being left nonetheless here. All of this is pretty suspect. All of this sell side here. We'll see. But yeah, my go-to idea would still be the all-time high on Nasdaq here as a potential target slash draw on liquidity slash the idea that could transpose for the silver bullet per se. But yeah, we'll see. We have two potential inversion for value gaps, one here, one here. But as long as we have those relative equal lows, I'm a little bit concerned. So yeah, if I want to target the all-time highs, I would preferably like to see those relative equal lows disturbed first, and then offer a run higher. But taking into consideration where we are in terms of the range and how the price is developing in here, I wouldn't be surprised if we leave those intact and attack the all-time high first. So far, I like how it traded outside of this inefficiency. Now coming back into it, and the bodies can't even touch the low, and it's rallying higher. So that's pretty interesting for the all-time high here. But yeah, if that's the case, then we might see some target delivering ahead of the 10 a.m. And if that's the case, I will not be able to use it as my cup of tea, as my draw for the silver bullet particularly. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If it just goes, then it is what it is. I will have to live with it. The dollar index is stretching higher though, which might apply a little bit of pressure on both Nasdaq and ES. So yeah, we'll see these lows still, and there is a portion of this opening range gap being left, but I don't want to be too bearish about it at the time. So let's truly watch and see how it will develop. This is also a AM session after a holiday on Friday, which can make it a little bit unruly, I would say. So yeah, definitely I don't want to rush into it very, very quickly, just because, right? All right, so we are striking the buy side here, so it should quickly just keep on going towards the all-time high. 1 minute until 10 a.m. still. But yeah, with current situation, I just don't know. I just don't know if I feel comfortable or confident about engaging this with ease. Yeah, yes, definitely has far more range potentially to go. So that might be something. But right, so 10 a.m. just hit there. And yeah, right off the gate, as I said, I like the all-time high here, buy side on Nasdaq. But where we are right now, there is no way I can engage with it properly, I would say. I'm considering a return into this value gap here. As that could have been something to look for. So the idea would be something like this to key off of this BC and this as inversion for value gap, and expect still around towards the all-time high buy side. But I don't know, I'm not like very confident about the idea though, whether it should come back to it at all. I'd prefer to leave it open, to be honest, and just attack the buy side right away from where it is currently. But yeah, let's see how it develops or overall. Well. I mean, it's poking above this high here, but falling short of actually reaching the all-time highs yet. Any return back into a discount like this for value gap and inversion would seem quite interesting in terms of a potential continuation, but yeah, at the same time we are at the high of the day currently, and we did left those strategical lows too. Yeah, I mean the same on ES. I mean these lows are so suspect. Well, I guess fair enough. So I will just wait for now. Sticking or staying with the draw up here, the all-time high on Nasdaq, but allowing for the price to offer maybe a deeper retracement or some more information here. So yeah, I would be definitely interested to see how price would react, how price would trade around this area and here, if at all, because again, it could just strike and smash the all-time high from where it is, and that's generally what I would expect, right? If it's obvious, if it's in a rush, just smash it up there, and that's it. And that would be like reasonable expectation, I would say. Hmm. Well. Yeah, I mean, the all-time high is definitely the go-to idea. We opened today, made a low, and then rallied all together. It's hard to imagine that this candle will turn around and be a down close at this moment, right? Yeah, the low of the day, basically Asia, London continuation, some consolidation into continuation, AM striking towards the upper end of the daily range and also targeting the all-time high, which is an old high too, in essence. So yeah, I mean, all of this seems to be very, very reasonable. But let's see. Let's see if it delivers that all-time high right away or not. Yeah, I mean, all-time high definitely in a striking distance here. Well, and even I'm having some issues, some internet issues. That's not ideal, but yeah, what can I do? We see a little bit of a drop in here. So I'm still watching and monitoring the 956 bullish for value gap busy. That is kind of overlapping with this 941 bullish inversion for value gap here. So both of these are the discount rates that I'm potentially looking for. Let's see. Alright, so we have a bearish for value gap right there at 10.11. Alright, so pretty smoothly attacking or dropping into this busy and or inversion provided gap here. Well. Still, it has yet to touch both of these levels. I don't think I want to go in it right away and just because, but seeing how it can work around it would be interesting insight, I would say. But yeah, so far, still the all-time high is the go-to. Is definitely the go-to draw, I would say. Yeah, I'm using this as inversion in this busy. I mean, I'm, I don't know. I kind of like the idea behind it. But I'm just not sure if, for example, the lower one wouldn't be revisited. And if that's the case, then I wouldn't be even less confident about what about those lows, right? So yeah, I gotta wait. I feel like I gotta wait and see. So far, we are trading down into it, both this busy and this inversion for value gap as a potential discount array. ES is slipping by 2. ES has cleaner trendline phantom sell liquidity versus Nasdaq. But yeah, both are interesting in that regard. So yeah, nicely respected the upper half of this busy and tapped into this inversion for value gap. Yeah, I don't know, I just don't think that's the way to go. Yeah, it's slipping by already here, so let's see. Yeah, quickly extending through this busy. So basically, if I use this one as a long, I would get stopped out or very close to getting stopped out in here. With my initial idea. So yeah, I guess I'm glad I didn't enter the right away and that I gave it a little bit of time. Wait and see. Because yeah, overall I'm still thinking all-time high here. Overall, I'm still thinking there. What I'm trying to figure out is how it will actually deliver, or how can it actually deliver. So we had this busy right there. We traded into it, but it didn't offer any or much support at all. We just traded through it. Now we're trading back into it. So let's see if it offers any inversion sensitivity. All right. Well, so far near term it looks kind of heavy though. We had or we saw an up candle here, but then we very quickly smashed right on through it. So yeah, as I said earlier, the sell side is here at typical lows. This is the lower inversion for value gap. And this is the lower inversion for value gap that we are trading down into currently. ES just run out its own trend line phantom sell side liquidity. So that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. So yeah, now we also traded to the high of the opening range gap. And this inversion for value gap. That's over top of that, and the bodies are not touching it even. So now if we could start climbing more reasonably higher, it would look a little bit more apt or prompt to actually deliver higher or some higher. Let me see. We have buy set. All right, so we have on ES, we have this buy set liquidity pool here. And this buy set liquidity pool is actually very, very nice. In 7,608 and a quarter. So that would be a reasonable draw on liquidity for ES. And now after we run out a little bit of sell side here, that might be an interesting idea. On ES per se. So yeah, I'm referring to this buy sell liquidity from Wednesday's London Open session. That's a significantly or very significant clean level on the upside. That's a potential draw on liquidity for ES, especially as we are running out the sell side liquidity here. I like that. I can add this busy here just for a good measure. Nasdaq is extending towards those relatively lows or on its own, so that's interesting too. It's 1024. All right, so I'm watching whether ES, after taking the sell set here, uh, will start to show any signs that it wants to turn around and seek some higher prices. Because if it will do that, then I have a clear draw on liquidity here on the upside. And yeah, that's basically in line with the Nasdaq's potential all-time high. But I like the ES slightly more than. Because yeah, the 930 low, the 934 low, and the 930 low altogether was basically taken out on ES versus Nasdaq still in play or still intact. It could still draw down into those relative lows on Nasdaq and take that off, take that out. That wouldn't be like too surprising. Actually, that would be quite reasonable at this moment of time. Yeah, nice stretching towards that. So those lows are definitely being targeted at this moment. On Nasdaq, ES already ran its own relative lows here. So it could be tapping into the pre-market salsa liquidity, which is here. All right, so Nasdaq did took out those relative lows. I gotta check the 15-minute chart. ES. That's the buy set that I'm interested in particularly. We started with an up run, then this large drop lower like this. That looks like end of the world. And potentially turning around and starting to seek higher. I would like that. So let's see. I don't necessarily need the price to go and reach altogether up there if it can offer me just a little bit of a range that can frame a 1 to 2 risk to reward. I could be content with way smaller amount of range. But yeah, we'll see. So far, the sell side is being under attack. The new week opening up is in close proximity on ES, so that's probably like a fair expectation on the downside next. So I'm watching whether it can reach down into it or not. And we'll see whether the price will start to turn around soon. All right, so we are tapping into the new week opening up. and we have some relatively lows from London open session left there. So probably that's like the extent of what I would expect for this drop to fulfill, in a sense, before potentially turning around. Potentially, right? We'll see. We'll see what we get though, but so far pretty interesting delivery. The sell side was definitely favored here, fun favored. After many buys liquidity pools being taken out, price just completely fall off the cliff. Both ES and Nasdaq. But yeah, that was again. So yeah, sell side taken out from the long open session and trading into the consecutive encroachment of the new week opening up. Below that, we have the new week opening up from last week. So that could be a draw for the price. We'll see. But definitely some ground was covered, or enough ground was covered on the downside. So if it wanted to fulfill a potential turnaround, that would be about the time to do so. Yeah, pretty interesting how I'm keep getting some internet issues too. But yeah. All right, so that hourly candle looks pretty heavy. That 15-minute drop clears all of the sell side and taps into the new week opening up as a discount. And in my opinion, clears way for potential run. Clears the way for potential run to the buy liquid here. With that, so let's see. We made a low just now. So I'm watching whether we will post a lower low than this, and whether we can see a rejection afterwards. All right, looks like we might be seeing a lower low here. Yes, I'm looking for potential buys. Let's see if something will facilitate. But yeah, my personal draw liquidity on ES is still here and is still open. We got a nice run lower that took out lots of sell liquidity, and we tapped into a measure of discount array in form of the new week opening up here. That's current one, and slightly below it we have the previous week's new week opening up. That's also a potential factor on the downside. So yeah, we'll see what we get still. Roughly 21 minutes left. Yeah, I'm watching the lows, comparing the lows for potential SMT divergence between the ES and Nasdaq. It clearly delivered quite of a run so far already, right? It's quite a large range to the downside. Expecting that it will recoup it all together right away. We'll see. Note how the bodies on the 5-minute chart are respecting the new week opening up consecutive encroachment. That's a bullish sign. That's a bullish signature to me. If it can stay like this and or displace away from it. The wicks were touching the lower quadrant here, but we couldn't close below the consecutive encroachment at all. So let's see how it does. But yeah, already, I don't know, it seems a little bit tricky for this morning session to deliver something very clean and pristine. Looks like this the sell side of the curve look like this run lower was the main play for the morning session so far. So let's see. I mean, I don't want to chase like something that's not there yet. So we'll see. Looks like ES and Nasdaq are trying to make a lower low here. I'm also watching the 5-minute candle, how it will close in here, whether it can maintain a close above the consecutive encroachment. That would be a solid sign in here, but yeah. Looks like a mud dash lower so far anyway. So yeah, unable to come back to this fair value gap, leaving lots of open inefficiencies on the downside, making a lower low with Nasdaq and trading into the low of the current new week opening up, but also to the high of the previous week's new week opening up. Yeah, looks like a heavy slide altogether. Looks like a really heavy slide altogether. And we have 15 minutes left for this particular session, and at this point it seems like that was the actual run for the session so far. I still potentially like the buy set here as the drawn liquidity. The question is whether we can see anything that will land well with that direction itself. So yeah, we made a low, relatively cool lows technically, made them jagged, valid through. So if we could see a measure of displacement here, that would be interesting. And yeah, let's see. Well. So yeah, we'll be heading into the macro, the 1050 to 1110 macro here. So let's see. I'm still watching the lows. I'm still watching the lows, whether they will confirm or not. Looks like Nasdaq is almost making a lower low here. ES has a little bit more room left. So there might be an angle for a potential SMT. Let's see. We are heading into the macro nonetheless. But yeah, there is really not much currently that I could particularly utilize. We'll see, we'll see. I'm still 10 minutes, 9 minutes left. If nothing materialize, then I guess the PM session will be the go-to. Yeah, both ES and Nasdaq are confirming their lows. 1 to third lower low during the macro, and digging deeper into this previous week's new week opening up, which is quite large, so keep that in mind, I guess. All right, if you pay very close attention, then you will see that the bodies are not matching very well, meaning that the bodies on ES are clearly making a lower low, while Nasdaq isn't necessarily matching that. Slightly maybe, yeah, but it's not as pronounced as on ES. So yeah, with that said, it's pretty hard to engage this anyhow right now. So yeah, I guess I'm glad that I didn't do anything during this session particularly, because yeah, I was thinking higher. I was thinking the draw is higher, and I still think that. And price dropped quite significantly. I didn't engage it, so that's good. But it just keeps on going lower and lower and lower, which may mean that maybe I was wrong about the draw here. Maybe it's not actually going there at this point of time, or at this moment. And I maybe just saved myself a loss while being wrong about the draw liquidity. So if that's the case, then I guess that's still a very, very good result versus taking a loss. But yeah, it's extending to the downside here still. Let's see if this can form a SIBI in here. Because that inefficiency could potentially turn into a bullish inversion for value gap if it's there. So let's see. Yeah, looks like it's stretching even further. It's really heavy looking, not gonna lie. So anyone who was trying to catch a low of this drop is being punished and being hurt quite a bit. But yeah, the 1054 potential bullish inversion for value gap. We are very, very low on time. We have roughly 4 minutes left. But if we could close above it, stop loss would be somewhere there. Position size would be, yeah, something like this probably. Something like this. Aiming for this inefficiency as the target. Well, let's see, because we are going above this inefficiency here already. If we can close above it, then I'm interested to see this act as a bullish inversion for value gap and seek higher prices. Let's see if we can see that close. All right, we just did. So I'm hitting the buy limit here. And let's see if I can get that long before the 11. All right, so I mean, there is a chance that it comes back down into it here and gives me the fill. But yeah, that's pretty much the last minute that it can do it. If it goes beyond the 11 a.m., then I will just take off the buy limit and come back for the PM session. But yeah, that's somewhat like the idea that it could or should come back to this, use it as bullish inversion and send it higher. And even a little bit higher would be enough for me to be content. But yep. But yeah, it looks like it will not come back there anytime soon. Yep. So I cancel the order right there, and I will just end the session here. I will just end the session here, and I will come back for the PM session. I haven't done PM session in a while, but yeah, that's the that's the only choice that I have at this moment. If I want to trade today, it either will be the PM session or nothing. The draw still stays up there. We'll see how it banks around until the PM session. If it will be open, then that might be an easy one. We'll see. But yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching. Kudos to you guys, and see you later. Bye.